On this week's Gadget Show Web TV, John's testing LG's latest 3D TV, I bring you this week's best tech news and check out an amazing speech app available for all smartphones. Hello and welcome to this week's Web TV. Later in the show, I found an app that will give you full control of your smartphone by just using your voice. But first, John's going three-dimensional with LG's latest TV. He's going to see if it's really worth delving into the 3D TV market.
Now, this is the first 3D TV I've tried at home. It's LG's new 47LD950. And unlike most 3D TVs on the market, this one is passive rather than active, which means to view it, you only need one of these cheap pairs of polarizing glasses you get given when you go to watch a 3D film at the cinema. LG include 4 pairs of glasses with the TV, but as they only cost a few quid each anyway on eBay, that's no big deal. You've obviously got polarizing lenses in the glasses. You've also got a polarizing lens over the TV screen. So that sorts out the left and right view and sends you different pictures to each one of your eyes. It's good, except there is a problem. Because it's doing that all at the same time, you only get half of any picture going to each eye, which cuts down on the definition. So if you were watching 1080p off a Blu-ray, you'd get a less defined picture. Obviously, there's the issue of what you can watch in 3D, given that virtually all British television is just broadcast in standard 2D. Well, if you're a Sky subscriber and you've got a Sky Plus HD box, you've got the HD pack and you subscribe to Sky World, well then you can ask to be included in Sky's 3D preview, which gives you a pretty good foretaste actually of the sort of things they'll be offering in the autumn. I've also managed to track down what seems to be virtually the only 3D Blu-ray available in Britain, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and I've been watching that as well. Though be warned, you'll almost certainly need a new Blu-ray player. Virtually all standalone Blu-ray players can't be upgraded to play 3D Blu-rays, which seems a bit of a pity, frankly. However, if you've got a PS3, it's another reason to feel smug because they can be upgraded to play 3D Blu-rays. I'd rather hope that manufacturers of Blu-ray players could see fit to upgrade more of their earlier players. It seems to be quite a barrier to people adopting 3D. You'll also be able to get 3D games, although again the choice is very limited. At the moment the main game available is Avatar for the Xbox 360 and PS3. Having watched 3D TV in the home now for a few days, I have to admit I'm considerably less of a skeptic about its chances of success than I was before. I've enjoyed the Sky Preview channel. It seems to work well with everything from ballet through to various kinds of sport. If anything though, they almost exaggerate the 3D effect too much at times. You almost want an additional control on your remote to turn down the 3D-ness of the picture. As for the film, I find I could watch for an hour and a half without tiring of the 3D effect, which is good. If anything, it almost inspires a sort of inch fever when you're watching, because 3D seems to make you want a bigger and bigger and bigger screen. I wanted 50 or 60 inches to get extra involvement. So I'm impressed by the 3D, but I'm rather less taken with the LG overall as a TV, particularly when you're watching, as you are most of the time, in 2D. I think because it's got this additional polarizing filter in front of the screen, the colours are a bit drab, the contrast isn't that brilliant, and generally it's probably not as good as any old normal 47-inch modestly priced LCD TV. And of course, this is anything but modestly priced. Costs a couple of grand or so, and that price, coupled with the lack of available 3D material, means that you've got to be really desperate, I think, for a 3D TV right now to justify being an early adopter and buying one of these.
Right, time for the news, and first up, Apple stood up last week and finally discussed the antenna problem on the iPhone 4. To rectify this situation, Steve Jobs took the stage and announced they're going to offer free cases to all iPhone 4 users, which should help with dropped calls and bars. But there is a catch. As Steve Jobs said, Apple can't make enough bumper cases for everyone. So to rectify this, they're offering people the opportunity to get one from a third party via their website. And if you've already bought a bumper case, you will be able to get a full refund. However, if you're still not happy with the signal loss, then you can take your Apple iPhone 4 into any Apple store and they will give you a refund. This is said to be costing Apple £120 million if everybody takes them up on their offer. However, in comparison to a recall, this really is the cheaper option. And here's hoping the iPhone 5 has a bit of a smoother launch. Next up, those of you who have jumped into the 3D market will soon be able to watch Blu-rays in the third dimension thanks to Denon. They are adding 2 high-end 3D Blu-ray players to their range, including the DBP1611UD at £399 and the DBP2011UD at £599. They'll both house 1 GB of storage for BD Live content, and you'll be able to link to YouTube via an Ethernet, which means you can watch stream content through both the machines. As well as networking capabilities, they have a high-quality 24-bit 192 kHz digital to analog converter for the premium trademark Denon sound quality, and both these machines will be released between August and September. Right, now most of us now own one of these, a smartphone. It's completely changed the way that we use our mobiles by being able to browse the web, send emails, use video playback, and one of my favourites, being able to play Angry Birds on the train. You would have thought there isn't much more that these devices can do. However, I found an app that is going to completely change the way that we use these devices all over again. The app I'm talking about is this, Vlingo. It's basically a voice transcription service on most smartphones. It lets you talk into the phone to search the web, to dial contacts, and even update your status on Facebook and Twitter, all by the power of your voice. It's designed to run in the background for quick access. The full application has an ultra-simple user interface with just 2 buttons. What you can say brings up a handy help screen showing the commands that are recognised and giving some examples, while press and speak is how to use Vlingo's main functionality. So, for example, if I want to search Google Maps for anything, I want to find something, all I have to do is get the Vlingo app up, use the press and speak button. Now I'm going to look for petrol stations in Birmingham in my local area, so find petrol station Birmingham. I have to tap to stop it and then it starts to think about what I've said. Now because I said find, it will trigger the Google Maps and should bring up petrol stations, fingers crossed. So there we go, it's brought up from what I said, it's recognised it and brought it up in text, petrol station in Birmingham. So all I have to do, tap on there, it will bring up Google Maps with my location, and there we go. You can see all of the pinpoints of where the petrol stations are in my area. Now, this is great and works with a lot of the basic features on your phone. So you can use it with text, you can use it in email, you can talk to it to bring up a website. It's completely up to you, but one of my favourites has to be being able to update my Facebook and Twitter status using this. Facebook update, I'm filming web TV. There we go. Again, it starts thinking about what I've just said. There we go. It's brought up new status and it's filming web TV. It also has voice dialing. Now this is something that's already on quite a few smartphones, but Vlingo has a real accuracy. With this one, you can either call a contact at home or at work. You have the option of the numbers. There we go, tap, press and speak. Call Colin work. Listening to what I've just said, it's now looking for Colin, my contact, it's looking for the work number, and it is now initiating call. There we go, and it's connected. With some smartphones, it can be very cumbersome using voice dialing, but with Vlingo, it's actually one of its best features. Overall, it's a great app. But the downside is, of course, with most voice-controlled apps, you have to be 100% clear, otherwise it is going to struggle to hear what you're saying. So if you're in somewhere like a bar or somewhere very loud and noisy, it is probably going to be a little bit useless. But for a free app, it really does expand the usability of your phone and does a tremendous job. Well, that's all we've got time for, but we will be back next week with more tech news and reviews. In the meantime, you can check out our gaming page for the latest gaming reviews, or check out our Facebook and Twitter pages for the latest info on the new series, which will grace your screens on August the 2nd. See ya!